Max Komar and Justin Miller are back deep for the Cardinals. Preseason game number 4 for the Redskins is underway as Miller takes it out from 5 yards deep. Former Pro Bowl return man with the New York Jets. Miller gang tackled at the 23-yard line, a 27-yard return. Byron Westbrook made the tackle on special teams. So Derek Anderson leads the Cardinals offense out. Matt Leinart started the first 2 preseason games for Arizona. It was Anderson named the starter by Ken Whisenhunt prior to the Cardinals' last game in Chicago.
And we can talk about the controversy that is brewing with Matt Leinart and Ken Whisenhunt, their football coach here in Arizona, about his playing time and wondering why he's not given more of a chance.
Tim Hightower in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line, and the handoff goes to Hightower, the Maryland native who started at the University of Richmond. Most of the starters are in uniform and starting for the Cardinals tonight. One exception is Pro Bowl wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, who is out with a knee injury.
And when he did get hurt, everybody thought it would be a lot more serious. Obviously, you're not going to take a chance with someone as impactful as Larry Fitzgerald.
3 wide receivers set for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 9 from the 23. Anderson looking to throw for the first time to the outside, and the catch is made for a first down by one of the stars of this preseason, the undrafted rookie out of Toledo, Stephen Williams. A look at the Redskins starters. On the defensive side, Darian Scott with Anthony Bryant and Albert Hainsworth up front. As we mentioned, most of the Redskins starters are not in uniform tonight. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Anderson handing it off to Hightower, and he takes it out to the 47. Gain of 4. HB Blades on the tackle.
These 2 running backs of the Arizona Cardinals will give that Redskin defense a pretty good test. Tim Hightower, 598 yards, 4.88 touchdowns last year, and then Beanie Wells came on real well, had 17 TDs rushing. I really think the Cardinals will lean a little bit more with Kurt Warner gone on running the football, and it's a great test for those young guys that we've talked about for the Redskins defense to be able to contain them.
2nd down and 6. Anderson out of the shotgun from the 47-yard line, looking left, now throws up the middle, and the pass is caught for another first down by the 3rd-year receiver out of LSU, Early Doucette, in Redskins territory.
Well, that time you had HB Blades trailing. Goes right up the middle on the linebacker, throws it out, gets it out. You've got a pretty good mismatch when you've got a wide receiver on a linebacker. And of course, Albert Hainsworth getting a push. Takes the center, or actually takes Alan Faneca and puts him on his back, but didn't get the pressure necessary to force the ball out of Anderson's hands early.
21-yard pass play. 1st and 10 from the Redskins 27. Here's Hightower running right, and he's tripped up by Justin Tryon, one of the Redskins you talked about in our open.
It's one thing to be a defensive back and have to cover people. In this defensive scheme that Jim Haslett has set up, talking to the corners, Carlos Rogers, D'Angelo Hall, and Justin Tryon, they know that they're going to be involved in the running game and tackle it. And that was a super one right there.
Loss of 1, now 2nd down and 11. Tryon returning to Arizona, played his college ball at Arizona State University. Here's Hightower again, breaks a tackle inside the 25 and taken down at the 24-yard line. Gain of 3.
Kevin Barnes had a shot of him, number 25. He's in low, misses the tackle. HB Blades runs out of his tackle, and Brian Westbrook right up to make the play. We've seen corners making really good plays in the run game for the Redskin defense so far.
So the Cardinals now looking at a 3rd down and 8. Redskins defensively during this preseason, they've been terrific on 3rd down.
It's been a strength, and it's also because they've had a little bit of pressure. Nothing like what everybody talks about might happen when the regular season starts.
Anderson out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8. And the pass is incomplete off the hands of the tight end, Steven Spock.
This one just had too much juice, Kenny. I mean, this is coming out of a rifle right here. He's got him open. He just guns it, and Spock doesn't have a chance. Spock doesn't have a chance to be able to get a hand on it. Just a finger.
So here is the new Cardinals place kicker, Jay Feely. Neil Rackers, now a member of the Houston Texans. A 41-yard attempt. And Feely's kick is good. So the Cardinals strike first. They lead the Redskins early by the score of 3-0. Back in Glendale, Arizona, early first quarter.
Well,
Cardinals leading 3-0.
The defense auditioning some of the players. Kevin Barnes, Justin Tryon made a couple of nice plays in that drive. Going up against the Cardinals starters. Probably see the Cardinals starters through the first two series. I was talking to Russ Grimm before the game, the newly inducted Hall of Famer Russ Grimm. And he's pretty happy with his group as far as the Cardinals go up front.
Congratulations to Russ, the four-time Pro Bowler, spent 19 years with the Redskins organization as a player and then a member of the coaching staff. Feely's kickoff is taken at the goal line by Banks. Banks out across the 20, still on his feet. Down the sideline, nice return. It's the kicker, Feely, who finally helps force Banks out of bounds.
He just showed you the kind of speed and change of direction that he has. He got boxed in, and by being boxed in, he then looked for a little bit of a hole to escape, and like a rabbit, he was gone.
A 40-yard return.
The Cardinals lead the Washington Redskins 3-0 early in the first quarter, but a little bit of excitement from the Redskins. Brandon Banks takes it on the goal line, and if you stop it right here, he's got him, and you'll see somebody coming into the picture right. He's going to change direction and take off and leave guys just standing there. And now he shows that great acceleration and speed. Getting to the corner, picking up a lot of yards.
40-yard return by Banks. Richard Bartell starts at quarterback for the Redskins tonight. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Bartell only 5 pass attempts so far this preseason, and his first pass tonight was caught for a gain of 6 by Willie Parker. So Bartell, who has spent time on the practice squads of the Cowboys, the Browns, and the Jaguars, getting an opportunity with a starting offensive line of Heyer, Lichtensteiger, Cook, Montgomery, and Oldenburg.
Of course, Donovan looking on, hasn't played in a couple of preseason games since he got hurt against Baltimore. Taking some time off. He was out warming up. Looked pretty good throwing the ball back. Didn't see any appreciable difference in his sets and throws in warm-ups, which is good news for Redskin fans.
Donovan spends a lot of time here in Arizona during the offseason. He was joined by some of his new Redskin teammates. Bartell has his pass batted back on 2nd and 4, going up against that starting defense of the Cardinals. Redskins starting lineup brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Willie Parker along with Keelan Williams in the backfield. Terrence Austin, Devin Thomas are the receivers, and we mentioned the starting offensive line with Eric Cook in the middle, a rookie out of New Mexico, 7th round draft pick. Now 3rd down and 4. 3 wide receivers, Thomas in the slot. Redskins must get to midfield for a first down. Penalty flag as Bartell is hit from behind. Football is loose. And the Redskins have recovered. Clark Hagens with the pressure. Corey Lichtensteiger on the recovery. Remember, there was a flag.
But I also believe this is going to be against Arizona.
5-yard penalty. The yardage results in a first down.
There's the jump off sides coming around the outside. Oldenburg doesn't take the cup out far enough, and you wind up with the sack from behind and the fumble.
Calais Campbell jumped. Look at Cardinals head coach Ken Wisenhunt in his 4th season. Took the Cardinals to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They've already won 4 playoff games.
He's done a terrific job, and it'll be interesting to see how this football team responds without Kurt Warner. A true Hall of Famer.
Yes. There's Parker, found a hole and picks up a first down. Willie Parker's best run of the preseason, 13 yards.
Nice job by the right side. You see the double, just collapse it on down. Clint Olenberger was a little upset after what happened after the last play, and he just collapses the tackle. They seal inside, get up the field, make a play. Lichtensteiger did a real nice job coming around as well.
Parker only 15 yards coming into this game. 13 on that last run. Here's Parker again. Takes it down to the 32-yard line. Calais Campbell made the stop. Campbell up front along with Brian Robinson and Maryland native Darnell Dockett. Joey Porter, one of the newest Cardinals, the 4-time Pro Bowler. Carlos Dansby now in Miami. And a terrific secondary with Rogers, Cromartie, Wilson, Rhodes, and the DC native Greg Toller. Keelan Williams in the backfield for the Redskins. 3 wideouts, 2nd down and 5. Bartell handing it off to Williams, rookie out of LSU. And he takes it down to the 30-yard line. Campbell and Dockett on the stop.
Keelan Williams has got only 2 touchdowns in the preseason for the Redskins rushing with the football, but he also does a real nice job catching the football. He's a very complete back, whereas Willie Parker's really known for his speed outside. Ryan Torrens, another one who has pretty good hands. 2 young guys who gets the ball out of the backfield.
Williams out, Parker back in along with the fullback Darrell Young. 3rd down and 3. Bartell to Devin Thomas for a Redskins 1st down. You know, Doc Walker has a big smile right about now.
Yeah, Doc's down there going, "Attaway, wild child, get it done." Devin does a real good job of driving up, turning. Now look where the ball is thrown. Perfect placement to the outside away from the defender. And this is really what Devin Thomas needs to do. First chance to touch the ball, stay focused. Now he'll be in the game. And a Hall of Famer I had was a little bit like that, was Art Monk. Art every now and then would lose his focus just a hair.
The screen to Parker. And Parker takes it down to the 16-yard line before he was tackled by Paris Lennon.
Good job, let him rush, set back a little bit, get the ball out in front. And Willie Parker showing some pretty good wheels when it comes to getting his hands on the ball in space. I was talking about Art Monk. Art, every now and then, if you didn't get the ball to him early in a game, he'd try and block, he'd try and do some things, but if he was out there for too long, I thought he was wandering around sometimes. Wandered all the way to the Hall of Fame.
That's right. On 2nd and 2, Bartell handing it off to Parker. Tries to turn the corner, spins, and he stopped a yard shy of the marker by the 2nd-round pick out of TCU, Darrell Washington.
That time Stephon Heyer gets beat outside. Of course, he's up against Darnell Dockett, who's pretty darn good defensive end, Pro Bowler. Up top, make the play, he gets pushed inside. And Willie Parker still wound up with a bit of a gain.
Redskins now facing a 3rd down and 1 from just inside the Cardinals' 15. And the play is blown dead. Carl Cheffers, our referee.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
First offensive possession for Mike Shanahan's Redskins, who come in with a record of 2-1. Wins over the Bills and the Jets. Sandwiched around a loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Now 3rd down and 6 following the penalty. 3 wide receiver set. Bartell out of the shotgun. Draw goes nowhere. Williams wrapped up immediately.
That's a simple case of sometimes you just have to let the defense know that they won one. Too many people to block inside, not enough blockers.
The 3-time Pro Bowler Adrian Wilson was not fooled, so Graham Gano, who is 4 of 5 during this preseason, 3 for 3 last week against the Jets, out to attempt a 40-yard field goal from the left hash. Josh Bidwell puts it down, and Gano's kick is good. So the Redskins, on their first possession, tie the game at 3.
Doesn't matter. That one's going against the Redskins. And let's just guess what it is. I think somebody on the Redskins offensive line did something. They did some holding. Robert Henson.
So this forces Gano back 10 yards, down a 50-yard attempt. His long is 42. And Gano hits from 50.
Now, we talked about special teams being important. That's extremely important because he missed a 47-yarder. Now he's hit a 50. Danny Smith has to feel real good.
Redskins and Cardinals tied at 3. A look at Graham Gano, who connected from 50 yards out moments ago. 10 plays, 38 yards. A couple of Redskin penalties on the drive.
Yeah, they overcame him and managed to get points. That field goal by Gano was really important because of the distance and the accuracy.
Gano's kickoff taken at the 3-yard line by Komar. That's Komar. Out to the 27. Brought down by Anderson Russell. So the Cardinals back at offense when we return, tied at 3, late first quarter. Matt Leinart, as you saw, now in the game at quarterback. And his first pass is incomplete. Westbrook on the coverage and bounced away from Stephen Williams. The Matt Leinart story, Joe, has been well chronicled over the last couple of days.
It really has. He puts his ball right where he wants to. He puts it down low. Actually, Stephen Williams is a pretty tall kid, but it's a good throw. And it seems like when karma is bad around you, it carries over into other elements like receivers not catching easy passes.
Heaney Wells, the lone back. 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. Leinart to Wells out of the backfield, and he's cut down by Westbrook.
We've seen it. Tryon, Westbrook, Barnes, the 3 guys we talked about at the cornerback position, each of them doing a nice job making tackles.
Matt Leinart said, "I'm frustrated and disappointed about the demotion." Head coach Ken Wisenhunt, as we take another look at the tackle by Westbrook. Ken Wisenhunt said it's not about stats as much as chemistry with the team. And Leinart's stats during the preseason have been good.
Oh, 19 for 23, now 19 for 20 for 24. I'd take those stats anytime.
He has not turned the ball over. 3rd down and 9. Leinart from the shotgun. Wrapped up. Down he goes. Back at the 20-yard line. Robert Henson called for that penalty moments ago.
Good play, bad play. Robert Henson coming inside, finds his way in, goes right by the guard. And Matt Leinart's on the ground. He lets the center, makes the center move. Center line just sort of let him go by.
We talked about the pluses and the minuses. Banks the last couple of weeks. Henson penalty. Turns a 40-yard field goal into a 50-yard and then comes back with the sack on 3rd down.
Make the big play.
First punt of the night by Ben Graham, forcing Banks all the way back, and he loses another one. Redskins have recovered, but that's the second muff punt by Banks in the last 2 Redskin games.
Mike Shanahan's going to have gray hair at the end of this game.
52 yards on the punt.
To put the thrill back in kick returns, whether they're kickoffs or punt returns. Going back, loses sight of the ball, almost loses it, winds up hustling to make the play, but it's like great return, fumbled ball. Great return, fumbled ball. And he's got to learn that the legs of the guys at this level of football may be stronger than what he's faced before. It's always easier as a punt returner to move up on a ball than it is to try and go back trying to catch one.
John Beckett at quarterback. Tonight's first down marker brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Beck with time, he throws, and the pass is caught, taken out across the 25 to the 27-yard line for a first down by the rookie out of UCLA, Logan Paulson, his 2nd reception of the preseason.
I like Logan Paulson. He's got those long locks, does a real nice job, sits down, gives him a good target, catches the ball with his hands, protects it, puts it away. A lot to like about that kid.
Makes it easy for us to identify him from our vantage point.
Absolutely, got those flowing locks.
First and 10 from the 27-yard line as Beck hits Parker out of the backfield. But he is met immediately by Darrell Washington, the second-round pick. He's been impressive throughout this preseason.
He really has. Dan Williams, their #1 pick at the nose tackle position. Darrell Washington, inside linebacker, in their second-round pick. And you can see why. A lot of speed to the outside.
Loss of 3, now 2nd and 13. Richard Bartell started the game for the Redskins. Now it's Beck, who signed a 2-year extension earlier this week.
Yeah, Redskins, you got to believe, have a lot of confidence in what he's going to be able to do.
Acquired from the Ravens 1 month ago. And the play is blown dead on 2nd and 13.
Well, you'd have to think with the way it was positioned, it looked like offsides again.
Number 52, defense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Veteran linebacker Monty Beisel. 2nd down and 8. From the 29-yard line. The toss to Parker, running left. And Parker takes it out to the 30. Again, it's Washington. So the Redskins now facing 3rd down and long.
Willie Parker's been able to turn it up a few times, but running sideways against this defense just isn't going to get it done. Does a good job catching the ball as well. This is something that Willie never really did a lot of. But once he gets going north and south, he can get up ahead of steam and get going. We saw Larry Johnson do some good things with the screen play last week. Willie Parker on this one.
Now 3 wide receivers. Bobby Wade in the slot. 3rd down and 8. As Beck's pass was intended for Rodell Williams. So the Redskins will send out the punting unit. Pass was deflected by Marche Green.
This is a little bit of what you expect in the last preseason game. You've got guys that haven't played a lot. And I say this is what you expect early. Once everybody settles down, you'll see performances that'll be better than what you see early.
First punt of the night by Josh Bidwell. Max Colmar, rookie out of Idaho, calls for the fair catch at the 20-yard line with 42 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 51-yard punt by Bidwell. Redskin fans, the new Redskins legacy. Second series for Matt Leinart. First and 10 from the 20-yard line. This is Beanie Wells. Penalty marker. Looked like possible face mask. Chris Wilson.
Yep, Chris Wilson almost got to a good position, reached out, grabbed the face mask. Going to be a penalty. You see the right part of your screen playing off the block.
Face mask, number 95, defense.
No question.
That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic. 1st down.
3rd Redskins penalty of this first quarter as we check in with Doc Walker. Doc?
Well, guys, from my vantage point, the competitive level is really high. And Joe, we talked about the corners. Our corners going up against their first unit have been extremely competitive. And then 95, you know the guy we've been talking about all camp. And what Chris Wilson does, all he does is make plays.
That time he made a play. Doc didn't really help us.
Face mask penalty. So in the final half minute of quarter number 1, Beanie Wells takes it out to the 38-yard line. Wells in its 2nd season out of Ohio State, 2nd among all rookies in the NFL last season in rushing yards with just under 800. And that should take us to the end of this first quarter. Cardinals on the board first. Jay Feely, a 41-yard field goal. And then Graham Gano answered following a Redskins penalty from 50 yards out. So 1 quarter in the books from Glendale, Arizona. Redskins and the Arizona Cardinals are tied at 3.
See the stats. Redskins about running the ball the way they have and throwing the ball. It's pretty even, obviously, when it's 3-3, but you look at the stats, pretty even across the board.
2nd down and 8 for Matt Leinart and the Cardinals. Pass is caught for a 1st down by Steve Breaston. 55 receptions a year ago. He's now the number 2 receiver, Joe, here in Arizona with the departure of Anquan Boldin to Baltimore.
Steve Preston was the punt returner, and now all of a sudden he is the man along with Larry Fitzgerald. Big target. Be interesting to see how early Doucette, Steve Preston, Larry Fitzgerald all managed to help whoever the quarterback is going to be, and it looks like it's probably going to be Derek Anderson at this point.
1st and 10 from the 48. Leinart handing it off to Wells. And again, good tackle made by one of the Redskin corners,
Kevin Barnes.
Kevin Barnes this time.
When you're in space like that, there was a lot of pressure on him because Beanie Wells gets to the outside real quick. Number 25 is going to come from the right part of your screen. He's got to take a shot. If he misses him, Beanie Wells has a long way to run. You don't see anybody behind him. There's a lot of space out there. HB Blade's coming over, but he would have been late to the party.
Wells gained 3. Could have been a lot worse from a Redskins point of view. Now 2nd down and 7. Leinart can't find anyone. And he's tackled at the 46-yard line by HB Blades after a gain of 2.
That's pretty much what Matt Leinart had in common with Kurt Warner. Neither one of them are going to run away from people. What you want to do is get yourself in a position to get the ball out of your hands. Matt's basically a pocket passer. Kevin Barnes doing a good job. Nice job. Staying with Stephen Williams, not letting him go too far. I like it when guys are going to play a whole game. They get into the flow of it.
Some of the Redskins are going to have to. Preston tackled by Westbrook. And it looks like Preston did pick up the first.
Good job, though, by Byron Westbrook, closing on it real quick, making the short tackle. The corners have been really put in very, very tough situations through this entire early part of the football game, Kenny, because a lot of these tackles are made with guys one-on-one in space. Most of the time, they've done it.
So a new set of downs, Joe, for the Cardinals. From the Redskins' 41-yard line in a 3-3 game. This is Alphonso Smith, and a terrific tackle is made by Robert Henson.
A few more blitzes by Jim Haslett. I think he's just loosening up the blitz packages a little bit. He's got corners coming hard. Tyrone Carter on the outside. Henson making the tackle, coming in hard.
Loss of 4 for Smith, the rookie out of Kentucky.
We always talk about fits in a defense. The linemen have to take who they're supposed to. The other linebackers do. One guy winds up being a free runner.
Forces the Cardinals back into a 2nd and 14 situation. 3 wide receivers. And they keep it on the ground with Smith. There's a penalty marker as Smith gains 3 down to the 42-yard line.
That penalty will be multiple players moving for the Arizona Cardinals because no one really got set. Everybody just was in motion.
Illegal shift. 2 players on the offense, 2 players moving prior to the snap.
Only 2?
That penalty's declined.
Oddly enough,
3rd down.
yes, it was just 2. The running back looked at the wide receiver. The running back stopped. The wide receiver didn't. We were talking, you and I were talking about this in commercial before. Not only are guys being looked at physically on how they play, but from an assignment standpoint, it's more important. Do you know what you're doing? Are you in the right place? Do you have the right fit in the defense, or can you make the right block on blitz pickup in the offense?
And for many of these players, it is their last chance to shine. Cuts coming up on Saturday. Leinart's throw is short, and it is nearly intercepted by Westbrook.
One of the things that Matt Leinart has not been able to do all through the preseason is push the ball up the field with a lot of juice on it. And he's lucky he gets hit when he makes this throw by Robert Henson, because if this ball is up a little bit more and he can get his body into it, Byron Westbrook is going the other way with nobody in front of him.
Henson's made some big plays for the Redskins so far tonight.
I was looking at Henson's earrings. I think it was the Jets one of the players during a practice session lost a 2.5 carat earring, and there were like 14 guys out raking the fields looking for it. I'm still thinking one of the players found it, put like a rock over it. After everybody left, you go back out, you get it, you got yourself a ring or an earring.
It was a big run on metal detectors.
It was. Instead of hard knocks, they ought to call it hard rocks.
That's right. Teams will meet the number 5 ranked Boise State Broncos in a game with national title implications. Cardinals unable to keep it out of the end zone. Andrea Jones did not realize he was about 1.5 yards deep.
Yeah, you're supposed to stop before the goal line to make the play. The kick was perfect. And those are the kind of plays we talk about, plays with the Redskins and what the coaches are looking at. Ken Wisenhunt and his staff have to look at the same exact thing when you're determining what you want to do on special teams. Kevin Spencer, terrific special teams coach, gets to make some pretty easy decisions based on that.
So the Redskins will start from their own 20. Richard Bartell returns to the game at quarterback. Redskins rotating by series. Bartell started the game. Then Beck, now Bartell back in. He connects with a wide open Darrell Young, who picks up a first down. 15 yards for Young out to the 35-yard line.
Richard Bartell gets settled down and he does some good things. Nice little play fake. Young's out in the flat, wide open, hold the linebackers.
However, Joe, it is coming back. Fourth Redskins penalty of the game.
Actually, all the previous 3 preseason games, you have to feel like the starting units of the Redskins, both defensively and offensively, have not committed a lot of penalties.
Willie Parker in the backfield, 2 tight end set. More movement.
False start, number 88, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's tight end Lee Vickers, 5th Redskins penalty, and we're pleased to welcome to the broadcast booth the Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Washington Redskins, Bruce Allen. And Bruce, this has got to be an exciting time for you. You grew up around the Redskins. You've worked for a couple of other successful organizations, but what's going through your mind with the regular season opener just over a week away?
I think we played the Dallas Cowboys, don't we, Joe?
They're right around the corner.
Don't worry, the team is talking about it already, and I think it's a good reason Coach didn't play some of the starters. Their minds might already be on a couple weeks from now.
Bruce, as you look at this football team, obviously when you and I talked before preseason and training camp, you said that there were about 25 spots that you felt very comfortable with, and there were about another 25 that guys had an opportunity to stand out. Has there been any 1 or 2 guys that have caught your eye that you say, you know what, that was one of the 25 I wasn't sure of?
Well, Joe, yeah, we've had about 6 guys appear that we're really pleased with, and tonight there's still 6 jobs open on this football team, and once again we're still looking for some of the rotations of who's going to get more play time, and so it's an exciting game for those players.
This is really a Super Bowl for some guys, because this could be the one chance you get to show everybody what you can do. And if you're not a Redskin, maybe you fit in someplace else. Is that the way you approach it?
Joe, that all the players know the tape is what counts. That's what we evaluate on. We can't go out and meet every one of the players. You evaluate the tape, and that's why they're putting out such a good effort.
Offensive line having a bit of a problem protecting Richard Bartell. He's had 1 ball batted down. He's been sacked 1 other time, and now he goes down again.
Well, I'm pleased with our guys. You know, those first few drives, that's our backups playing against their starters, and it's a good test for them. It allows us to evaluate the backups, because once the season starts, if you have to step in, obviously you're going to be playing against some other team starter.
And you've had a lot of guys, because of the problems in the offensive line last year, there were some guys like Montgomery and Reinhardt, guys that now get a chance to have another year for you to evaluate.
Well, I think what Coach Shanahan brought was a different offense. We're trying to fit these guys into our new scheme. They've worked very, very hard. We'd like to keep all 80 of these players, but even though we have a good relationship with the commissioner, he's not going to let us do that.
And Bruce Donovan McNabb, of course, one of the key acquisitions, if not the key acquisition by the Redskins during the offseason. He was out throwing about 3 hours before the game. Looked pretty good.
Well, he always looks good, and he's got a smile on his face, so that gives every one of our Redskin fans and the organization a smile.
Now the Dallas Cowboys, as you mentioned, the Redskins are playing the Cowboys, right? Next Sunday night?
Yes.
Kickoff week. Tell me a little bit about what will take place during the days leading up to game number 1.
Oh, I'm so excited. We have an event every day, and some days we have 2 or 3 events, including events with the alumni. And in game day is really going to be special. Dan came up with a great idea of helping the people tailgate. We're going to open up the lots early. We're going to have video boards out in the parking lots so everybody can watch the other games that are going on. And it's going to be a festive week. Dallas week is special. We're just going to try and amp it up a little bit more.
Plus all the new equipment in the stadium. Once everybody gets inside, the new video screen.
Oh, those are
gigantic.
Fantastic. You look at this stadium, which hosted a Super Bowl, their video things look like our pocket televisions.
Well, Bruce, we really appreciate you stopping by. Best of luck during this upcoming season.
Thank you, guys. You did a great job this preseason. Keep them healthy, Joe.
We will, Bruce. We'll get them through it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Bruce Allen, the
After
Executive
the play,
Vice President and General Manager
number 57
of the Washington
return
Redskins.
team. Hitting a player
With the
away from
Redskins
ball.
and the
That 15-yard
Arizona
penalty will be
Cardinals
assessed at the end of the
tied
run.
at 3
Timeout.
here in Glendale. Stevie Baggs, the guilty Cardinal. Back in a moment. Redskins and Cardinals tied at 3. New quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Joe. It is Max Hall, who attended the same high school and same college as John Beck, but they only spent 1 year together back in 2006 at BYU. Hall is the nephew of former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Danny White.
And I had a chance to do a BYU game, and I had a chance to watch Max Hall work. He's fun. He gets the ball out of his hands nice and quick.
First and 10 from the 19-yard line as Smith is hit for a loss by the combination of Chris Wilson and Robert Henson. How many times have we mentioned Henson's name tonight?
This is the 4th. Chris Wilson coming all the way around the formation, catches him from behind, and Robert Henson finishes him up. Robert Henson has run free through the Cardinal offensive line more times than I've seen a linebacker run free in a long time.
Cardinals now have some of their second stringers in on the offensive line. Second down and 12. Hall looking to throw for the first time, and it is intended for Andrea Jones, who spent some time on the Redskins practice squad a year ago.
Wasn't much of a hole to try and squeeze that one into. Rob Jackson was on the outside. You see a little tight space to try and get the ball in. Marcus McCauley gets it out quick. Not a whole lot of places to put the football.
Max Hall, 9 of 18 coming into this game during the preseason. Won a school record 32 games at Brigham Young, breaking Ty Detmer's record. Third down and 12. Hall under pressure from Henson, rolls to his right, now throws, and it is caught by the tight end, the former Eagle and Patriot Steven Spock, for a Cardinals first down, a gain of 17 yards.
I was talking to Chris Miller, who's the quarterback coach here for the Arizona Cardinals, and he called Max Hall, he's a gamer. He just knows how to make plays. Gets the ball out quickly, moves around. Everybody's working, everybody's moving. Nice job by Justin Tryon, nowhere to go. Redskins have a lot of vision on quarterbacks. They find receivers, find the ball.
First and 10 from the 34-yard line as Hall hands it off to Smith. 2 rookie quarterbacks on this Cardinals roster. Hall along with John Skelton out of Fordham, and if in fact they do trade Matt Leinart, there's a good chance that both rookies could make this squad.
I watched Matt Leinart, Kenny, during warm-ups, and I saw a very disinterested individual. The other 3 quarterbacks were throwing. Matt was away from them a bit, kneeling down, not really participating in the warm-ups much. he'd come up and throw a little bit and walk away. I mean, his discontent is very, very visual and visible by his body language. I mean, you know, he wants to be a starter. He felt like it's his opportunity. They'd go and bring Derek Anderson in. He feels like he's outplayed him. And when you look at the numbers, you know, he's put up some really good stats. But Ken Whisenhunt will have to evaluate what he wants at the end.
Final preseason game for the Redskins and the Cardinals. We are tied at 3. 2nd and 7 from the 37-yard line for Max Hall and the Cardinals. Hall, the third quarterback used by Arizona tonight. Under pressure, moving to his left. Looks for the marker, has a first down. Out to midfield. Finally tackled by Ramsey Robinson after a gain of 15.
Gamer, that's the best way to describe him. Gets out, makes plays. Got good mobility. Something the Arizona Cardinals haven't seen, obviously, with Kurt Warner there, not running around a lot. Albert Haynesworth tries to get airborne and winds up headed for the ground. Mike Shanahan trying to play his big defensive tackle into shape.
Charles Scott on the carry, acquired this week from the Philadelphia Eagles. Cardinals lost their starting running back, Joe, the former Redskin Nehemiah Broughton, who tore his ACL.
Yep. That's it. We haven't, the thing this preseason, Kenny, you haven't really heard of a lot of, fortunately, a lot of stars being injured. You know, Andre Johnson took a shot in for the Houston Texans. He's okay. Larry Fitzgerald, he took a shot. He should be okay. Des Bryant for the Cowboys, they think will be all right for the opener. But not a lot of guys, fortunately, have gone down through the preseason this year.
Knock on wood, 2nd and 10. Ball complete for a first down. On Ray Jones, 15-yard pass play. Here's Redskins head coach Mike Shanahan talking about Albert Haynesworth and his impact on the 2010 Washington Redskins.
I expect him to, you know, play extremely hard, do the things that, you know, we believe will give us the best chance to win. He is a very talented guy. My first job is to make sure he's in football shape. My next job is to make sure whatever position he does play, that he plays it to the best of his ability. And, you know, hopefully he'll do that. And if not, he won't be with us.
Can't make it any more specific and plain than that.
Hall could not find anyone. And he's tackled at the 33-yard line by Rob Jackson. How about the byplay after the game last week? Yeah, over the Jets between Haynesworth and Shanahan.
Everybody was hunky-dory. He was going over to Mike's house, have a cigar, and hang around. And Mike responded to it and said, "Yeah, he made me buy the cigar." I mean, I really believe there's a lot of respect. I mean, Mike Shanahan is a very respected football coach, and he has a way that he wants things done, and that's to help this football team win football games. And no one individual is bigger than the entire team. It's that simple.
Mike Shanahan also said that Haynesworth saved him on the sidelines for a ball that was coming his way.
In practice, I mean, there's been a lot of conversation about Albert Haynesworth and Mike Shanahan through the preseason and through training camp, and to a point where I think both of them would just as soon see it stop.
Haynesworth, a two-time Pro Bowler, is a member of the Tennessee Titans, hoping to make a big impact in Washington this season. 3rd down and 1 for the Cardinals from the Redskins' 25-yard line. And a timeout is called by
First charge timeout,
Cardinals head coach
Arizona.
Ken Whisenhunt. Especially next Sunday. 3rd down and 1 as Hall hands it off to Scott. There is a flag.
It'll be offsides against the Redskins.
Offside, number 95, defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Chris Wilson's 2nd penalty, called for the face mask earlier. It's the Redskins' 7th.
Which they've averaged pretty much through the preseason. And in the first half, with 2 minutes to go, they have hit their max. This is the kind of stuff that drives coaches crazy. lining up offside, you're just giving away yards. 3rd and 1, you feel like you've got them stopped, and you just give them a first down.
The 2-minute warning.
And we have hit the 2-minute warning, Joe, here in Glendale, Arizona, with the Cardinals with a fresh set of downs. We are tied at 3. 2 minutes to go, 2nd quarter.
We sometimes can walk into bubble gum.
Again, it's Henson in on the tackle of Scott, along with Anthony Bryant and Rob Jackson.
Anthony Bryant is no small individual at 335 pounds. Moseying off the field at this point. Darren Scott in the middle.
Talk about big men. How about the Cardinals right tackle? He's in the game now, number 67, Herman Johnson.
Huge.
Hall's pass is complete to Jones inside the 10, still on his feet. Takes it down inside the 3-yard line. Max Hall to Andrea Jones for 14 yards.
Now, we talked about how quick he gets the ball out of his hands, even in the shotgun. Gets it out. Get some linemen out in front. Once you get linemen out in front, get ahead of steam. These are not small receivers. Steven Spock going out making a block.
First charge timeout, Washington.
A block by Spock.
32nd timeout.
And another block by Spock. 2 blocks.
Redskins use a timeout. 56 seconds remaining in the half. There's Herman, 6'7", 360 pounds. Joe, reportedly the largest baby ever born in the state of Louisiana. He was 15 pounds, 14 ounces at birth.
How long was he? I mean, he had to be 20 some odd inches. You know what? Congratulations to his mom.
To his mom, right?
She deserves a lot of congratulations.
Mrs. Johnson.
Mrs. Johnson.
Done well.
You really did well.
Now 1st and goal from the 3, and taking it in for the touchdown, Alfonso Smith.
Rex Hadnot, number 70, out front, making the kick-out block. Guard comes around, buries the safety coming up, runs through the tackle. Coaches will always tell running backs, we'll block 10 of them, 1 of them belongs to you.
First touchdown of the preseason for the rookie free agent out of Kentucky. Jay Feely for the point after. And the Cardinals now lead 10-3.
Watch number 70 come into your picture. Tyrone Carter doesn't really stand a chance. Robert Henson cannot make the tackle, keeping him out of the end zone.
So a good block by Hadnot. Started 6 games for the Browns last season, leading the way for Smith.
I have to feel like you're going to see a lot more of that out of the Arizona Cardinals. They got 15 touchdowns out of their running backs last year, Beanie Wells and Hightower. They have the ability to run the football. Russ Grimm, their line coach, I love saying it, the Hall of Famer Russ Grimm, their offensive line coach, they bring in Alan Faneca. You know, Alan basically took less money just to come back and play for Russ Grimm. Had a chance to go to the Hall of Fame ceremonies this year. It was great. He did a great job with his speech. And, a lot of the guys were there.
First member of the Hogs to be inducted in Canton. He was presented by Joe Bugle, who was on hand tonight.
It was funny. We were down on the field, and one of the fans wanted him to sign a Redskin helmet, and so he signs it, Russ Grimm Hog, and he hands it back to me, and I said, no. You've got to add that other little thing.
H-O-F, H-O-G.
That's right. H-O-F, H-O-G. Got to get used to doing that.
Devin Thomas takes it out. Thomas out to the 22. Pago Tagovailoa made the tackle.
There he is, putting his jacket on. Good likeness of him. What a wonderful class. Dick LeBeau, Ricky Jackson, Russ Grimm. Russ could have been a Hall of Famer at guard, tackle, center. Didn't matter.
So again, our congratulations to Russ. John Beck back at quarterback for the Redskins. Final minute of this first half. Beck with time. He is going deep, and he overthrows Terrence Austin as we head down to the sidelines, and another former teammate of Russ.
Kenny, I want you to know that Joe was hospitable at the Hall of Fame. I mean, he actually broke a rule and had a beverage with the guys, and he really was out of character a bit. You know, I just want to say one thing about Perry Riley, one of the few non-starters that didn't play in this. And his absence opened up the door, and Robert Henson is slamming through it with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, we talked about that, Doc. This is a game where you get to showcase your skills, and you're probably going to have the whole second half to do it as well.
Amen.
Here's Beck out of the shotgun, and that's Devin Thomas, his second reception, a first down, gain of 13 out to the 35.
How do you run the 2-minute drill? That's another thing. You get John Beck's getting a chance to do it now. Got to speed it up a little more.
Umpire back on the defensive side of the final 2 minutes as Beck throws, and this time it is nearly intercepted by Justin Miller.
Kenny, we talked about the umpire being back in front of the quarterback at this point. The league is going to look at they're going to make a decision with regards to possibly putting the umpire at the 5-minute mark in this position, back where he was before. I think Peyton Manning made his point to the National Football League that it's an unfair advantage for the defense at times for him not to be able to do the things he needs to do on offense.
Back on 2nd and 10 to a wide open Terrence Austin, another first down, gain of 20. And the Redskins call timeout, 5 seconds remaining in this first half.
The only thing I would have liked to have seen John Beck do was ground the ball after the Devin Thomas catch and save some more time. You'd have probably 15 seconds now with the timeout, still having a chance to be able to make a play to get into field goal range.
That's game management.
It is. It's the things you have to learn. There's so much more than just watching a guy run routes or watching a guy throw the football or run or tackle. You really have to think your way around the football field, especially in the last 2 minutes of a game, last 2 minutes of a half. What's the weather conditions like? Are you with the wind? Are you against the wind? That's one reason why I enjoyed holding for Mark Mosley. I knew exactly how far Mark could kick the football, and it helped me in running the 2-minute drill.
3 seconds have been added to the clock, so 8 seconds remaining. From the Cardinals 41. Back to the near side. And the pass is incomplete, intended for the rookie out of Mississippi, Shea Hodge. Now 5 seconds remaining.
We were here just 3 seconds ago, weren't we?
We're back. So the Redskins trailing by 7, 5 seconds remaining in the first half here in Glendale, Arizona.
You try a field goal here, it's a 59-yarder. We know that's not going to happen.
Gano had his helmet strapped up.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to try it.
I think he wants to try it, but I think it's out of most people's ranges.
It's Beck on the sneak, so they will give Gano a shot from around 56, 57.
Timeout, Washington. A 30-second timeout.
Obviously, 59 was a little too far. 58 feels a little more comfortable.
Ball spotted just inside the 40.
Sure, Kenny.
Of course, the league record is 63 during the regular season.
Well, he's hit the 50. The 50 that he hit went through pretty good. So there's a chance, and this is something you need to know. At the end of a game, it's just good coaching to check and see what you have. Mike
Shanahan was the head coach, and Jason Elam tied Tom Dempsey's record, 63-yarder.
That's right. Air was a little thinner.
So this will be a 58-yard attempt from the left hash.
Just don't hurt yourself.
Kick by Gano does not have the distance. So the first half comes to an end after Gano misses from 58 yards out. He hit from 50 earlier. At the half, it's the Arizona Cardinals 10, the Washington Redskins 3. Redskins preseason football, presented by Russell Athletic, will return in a moment. All right, Doc, here we go. Jay Feely kicks it off. It is Devin Thomas who takes it out from 4 yards deep in the end zone. Thomas out across the 25 to the 29-yard line. So a 34-yard return. Thomas with 2 receptions in the first half. Good field position for the Redskins.
Devin Thomas hits this one a lot better. Gets up inside the wedge, which by rule now can just be 2 men at a time. You can't have the big formed wedge like they did a few years back.
That rule instituted prior to the 2009 season. Richard Bartell will start the second half at quarterback for the Redskins.
And the umpire starts the ball 13, 14 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Hand off to Parker. And Parker, after changing course, takes it up to the 33 for a gain of 4. You mentioned earlier an experiment this week with all 32 teams in action tonight. The umpire will move to the defensive side for the final 5 minutes of the second half as opposed to 2 minutes.
Officials should not be involved in impacting how an offense or a defense is able to do their job, and with the position he's in, it does create the problem. Put him back where he was. They did it for 100 years. Let the umpire be where he is.
Parker able to cover up back at the 31-yard line. Willie Parker, 5 carries, 27 yards in the first half tonight.
I've always believed that on handoffs, it's the responsibility of the quarterback to make sure that the running back has the ball. You see running backs bobble it a little bit. You've got to put it in. If you're a quarterback, if there's a pocket, you give it to him. If it's not, you don't. There's the umpire.
Andre Wash. 3rd down and 8. Bartell wrapped up. Down he goes. Back at the 28-yard line. Sacked by the 10-year veteran, Monty Beisel. Loss of 2. Redskins send out the punting unit.
Cardinals have added some darn good players. Kerry Rhodes, Joey Porter. Got a pretty good list of guys been added to this football team.
They lost Kurt Warner, Anquan Bolden, Carlos Dansby, Antrell Roll. Colmar on the return. Takes it out to the 49. This is a team that has won back-to-back division titles. They won 10 games a year ago. Did not lose back-to-back games last season. What will they do this year?
And the Redskins offensively just can't generate any kind of drives. Missed handoff, penalty, it's hurt them all night.
Max Hall handed off to Alfonso Smith. And again, it is Chris Wilson and Robert Henson in on the tackle. Henson, 5 tackles and a sack. There's Wilson. Max Hall looked pretty good in the first half for the Cardinals. Completed 3 of 4 pass attempts. Also Arizona's leading rusher with 13 yards on the ground.
Did a nice job of making plays with his legs too. But Robert Henson has just stood out like Anthony Armstrong has in the previous 3 games.
2nd down and 7. Hall stumbled as he took the snap. Pass is caught by Andrea Jones. Russell Athletic is a proud partner of the Washington Redskins. New Redskins who own Super Bowl rings.
3 of them from the Steelers. Tyrone Carter just added a week ago. Kerry Davis added just recently. Willie Parker's been here all through camp. Jamal Brown as well. Jamal not playing tonight.
And did not play last season for the Saints.
Last season for the Saints. So when he gets the Cowboys in 10 days, it'll be the first action he's had in quite a while.
3rd down and 3. Cardinals empty the backfield.
With someone like that, you just wonder, do you have 60 minutes in you? That's why these young offensive linemen here have to do something.
Hall's pass is caught by Jones. He's looked pretty good tonight for a Cardinals first down. A 19-yard pass play.
You see how quickly Max Hall gets the ball out of his hand. Quick set, get it out, put it up to the big receiver and let him go make a play.
Jones out of Hampton University in Virginia. We mentioned earlier, spent a week on the Redskins practice squad last year.
What's this football team going to be like without Kurt Warner? He's another one that should just go into the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
All the things that he's done.
Won a Super Bowl following the '99 season with the Rams, led the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. And you think back, Matt Leinart started 11 games in 2006. Leinart was the starter in '07, fractures his collarbone after 5 starts, and that is when Warner took over.
And he just never looked back. And to Ken Whisenhunt's credit, he never thought about even turning away. I mean, that's why when I look at Kurt Warner and I think of the Hall of Fame, what have you done? Your body of work. You've taken 2 teams to Super Bowls. You've won 1. You own darn near every passing record in both franchises. No question in my mind where he belongs.
After stocking shelves at the grocery store and a tremendous career in the Arena Football League.
And now he's, I think, going to do Dancing with the Stars. So he's still got be the most he's moved in his life. But speaking of moving, there's Chris Wilson. Chris Wilson, Robert Henson. Chris Wilson, Robert Henson. We keep saying those names, and they've been standouts for the Redskins defense tonight. Comes hard inside, doesn't get blocked by the wide receiver to make the tackle.
Kurt's also going to do some of this.
Yep, do a little announcing
for the Fox Network.
Yep.
Also did an Arena League broadcast recently during their playoffs. 3rd down and 14. Hall out of the shotgun. Hall over the middle, complete to a wide open Alfonso Smith for a 1st down. Chris Horton made the tackle after a gain of 21.
Well, you have to believe that that's just a blown coverage by the Redskins. They bring pressure from the outside with 2 guys. Let him go right up the middle. Nobody home. There's a case where Chris Wilson possibly should have dropped back. That's an easy throw. The wide open guys 12 yards down the field in front of you are pretty simple.
So a new set of downs for the Cardinals. 1st and goal from the Redskins 10. Leading 10-3. Hall to the end zone. Nice effort, Stephen Williams, the intended receiver, and he comes up limping.
Gets it out a little late. Wouldn't have been in bounds anyway.
Tyrone Carter on the coverage.
Tyrone Carter has been able to jump into this defense comfortably because Jim Haslett's background with the Pittsburgh Steelers, played for 6 years with the Steelers, so he can move in the safety position. Of course, with Kareem Moore down for at least 4 to 6 weeks, the safety position becomes another one where you have to think people have to be there to make plays.
Here's Smith on the toss, and he is cut down, Joe, by guess who? Number 51, Robert Henson.
He's gone sideline to sideline and still running back to the huddle. I mean, he's been calling defensive signals. He's the first one back where the defense is going to line up. Everything that he is doing tonight is basically saying, I want to be on this football team. Jim Haslett has to be pleased with this part of it.
His defense looking to keep the Cardinals out of the end zone. 3rd and goal from the 7. 4 wide receivers. Hall handing it off to Smith inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line. Ken Whisenhunt with a decision to make, and he sends out the field goal unit. So Jay Feely, who hit from 41 earlier, will attempt a 23-yard field goal.
Ken Whisenhunt, the play caller. Russ Grimm consults in the running game. Assistant head coach Mike Miller handles the passing game.
Whisenhunt, like Grimm, a former Redskin. Feely's kick is good, and the Cardinals extend their lead to 10. Just over 8 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's the Cardinals 13 and the Redskins 3. Well, the Redskins may have been able to drive to some preseason games in the past, Joe, but not this week, as they made their longest trip in the preseason within the United States since '92.
Yes, we did.
Took on the LA Raiders.
And we will be headed back tonight, too.
And this is the farthest any team in the NFL has traveled during this preseason. Here's Devin Thomas. Another nice return. There is a flag, another flag, as Thomas takes it out to the 38.
Devin Thomas, with each kickoff return, seems to be a little more comfortable, a little more explosive, getting up into the pocket turning it on. This one's going to go back, though. They'll start right around the 10-yard line.
Negating a 44-yard return by Thomas.
Fouls by the return team on the play. Holding number 82. That penalty's declined.
Logan Paulson.
Holding number 51. That penalty is accepted. Half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
So the penalties force the Redskins back. They trail by 10. Eagles lead the Redskins 13-3 as we head downstairs to Doc.
Kenny and Joe, I'm here with one of the bright spots of this summer, the return of the Cooley. How do you feel, brother, coming off the ankle injury? I mean, you look marvelous this training camp.
Appreciate it. I feel great. Early on, it was a little bit of stiffness in my ankle, but coming into training camp, I had no concerns. Just probably in the best shape I've been in as far as coming out of a training camp and ready to play a season.
It looks like you and Donovan have spent some time together in another world.
Yeah, we got to keep spending time together in that other world because we got to keep getting on the same page. But he's done a great job. I think he's really fit in with the guys. We're starting to mess as a receiver core with him, and the more time we can continue to catch his balls and understand what he's given to us, the better we'll be.
What has this offense meant to you and the young Trojan, Fred Davis?
Well, it's been a real pleasure working with Fred over the last couple of years. Fred and I are just, I mean, he's one of those guys that when you ask, who's your friend, who do you hang out with? Fred's one of those guys that's just one of my best friends on the team. So it's been a blast working with him every day, being in the same room together, and then watching him continue to grow as a player. It's been great.
It's been a prelude for the Dallas week. I mean, you being open on catching third down passes on the big one when it counts.
Yeah, I'm ready to make some plays. It seems like it's been forever for me, so I'm really ready to step up and start making some plays. It should be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Well, Joe, Kenny, we're happy to have this kid back. Want to see him big time against Dallas.
He's ready.
No
I think he's ready.
You mentioned Jamal Brown, who missed all of last season. Chris Cooley, of course, missed the last 9 games of 2009. Have you been keeping up with his blogs?
Occasionally, I do. He and his brother spend a lot of time in a space called the internet.
Of course, even though Chris is not playing tonight, not blogging on the sidelines. Ocho Cinco fined $25,000 by the NFL for tweeting during a game 2 weeks ago.
Chad just finds ways to give away money. He does. He just finds ways. I think he budgets about $200,000 to $250,000 annually, just because he knows he's going to do something stupid and it's going to cost him. It's got to have a little. It's got to have a little account somewhere that says stupid money that will wind up at a charity.
I think with that fine, he blew his advertising budget as far as his tweeting is concerned. He said it's the first time he's ever lost money by tweeting.
Right.
Komar on the return. Logan Paulson, the special team stop.
I've come to it. You know, you start to learn how to do things differently in that world because you don't spell out A-R-E anymore. It's an R or it's a U. It's fun.
Anybody with young kids would learn that pretty quickly. Tonight's first down market brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Alfonso Smith gains 8. If I told you 20 years ago that we would look into the future and you would actually say on television, I spent a lot of time last night tweeting.
Yes.
What would you have said to me?
The only thing that I thought about when it comes to tweeting is Tweety Bird. That was the only thing that ever came to my mind. And there's something that you just don't want to see. We talked about injuries and how the Redskins have not had any of no major ones, and looks like they're taking a look at Robert Henson's knee.
Henson's probably been the Redskins' best player tonight.
No question. Head and shoulders above everyone. He has just stood out from sideline to sideline. And the other impressive thing is even when he's on one sideline, he jogged back to where the ball was going to be spotted.
Looked like one of the Cardinals grabbed hold of Henson's face mask, which twisted him around. That was number 62, Ben Claxton.
Now there's a case where just conceivably, if the umpire is in his position where he was in previous years, might have had an opportunity to see the face mask call. Being 14 yards behind the line, I mean, that's one thing about putting somebody out of harm's way. It's another thing moving them so far away from things you can't see it. Talk about disappointing. Poor kid.
So Henson is going to be helped off the field.
The linebacker position, Perry Riley looks like he's going to make the football team. Didn't dress tonight. Robert Henson was there. Andre Carter, Rob Jackson, H.B. Blades, Curtis Gatewood, Chris Wilson. I think pretty much the top four, and Andre Carter. That's 5. Now the Redskins a shot at everybody on there possibly making this football team.
And they hope for the best with Henson as we take one more look.
It just gets it planted in the ground. Now you just have to feel bad for the young man.
2nd down and 3. Off the play fake. Hall going deep. And the catch is made for a first down by Max Colmar, the rookie from Idaho, who had 6 receptions against the Bears in the Cardinals last game. Good for 34 yards.
And Marcus McCauley just gets beat. He gets turned around and wrong position. If the ball is thrown out in front and led to him, probably would have had a touchdown. You're giving up a lot of space and then losing sight of the ball. Talking to Chris Miller, the quarterback coach again of the Cardinals, he said Max is really something. Talked to Derek Anderson about him too. They're really impressed with his quickness and his decisiveness in his routes.
First and goal from the 6, and Smith is out of the backfield by Rob Jackson. Second and goal coming up for the Cardinals as we check out Henson on the sidelines.
And that was Ramsey Robinson that got beat, not McCauley. That's not good.
How about that, Robert?
Gosh, he played so well.
That will certainly put a damper on this night from the Redskins' perspective. Hall looking end zone, can't find anyone. He dives, reaches out, and is in for the touchdown.
Well, that's a dimension that the Cardinals haven't seen for a long, long time. A quarterback that can make plays with his legs. Directing traffic. Watch him switch the ball now. Just get it inside. All it needs to do is get inside and break the plane, and that's exactly what he did. Got inside the pylon.
Last rushing touchdown by a Cardinals quarterback. Kurt Warner had one in 2007. None over the last 2 full seasons.
And I'll bet you it wasn't that long.
Probably not. Max Hall into the end zone. 20-3 Arizona. Redskin cheerleaders will appear on the Today Show at NBC next Friday. They will hand out Beat Dallas t-shirts to the crowd. And then on Sunday, the day of the Dallas game, parking lots will open at noon, 8 hours before kickoff. There will be 5 giant video boards to watch the afternoon NFL games. The marching band, the cheerleaders will be on hand, alumni. And the lower bowl, Joe, will open at 4. And fans will be allowed to watch the 4 o'clock games on the video screens.
I can never remember a week with so much activity leading up to one football game, which is an unbelievable game, I think, going to be happening anyway on Sunday night.
Another nice return by Thomas, 34 yards. We take another look at the Cardinals' last score.
And if you take a look at Max's Hall's right foot, before he crosses, he's out of bounds on the 1, and I just don't believe that the ball got inside the pylon, but it's a preseason game and no challenge.
Now Bartell swings it out to Brandon Banks. He shows his speed down the sidelines for a Redskins first down.
That little bubble screen with somebody with that kind of speed, if he gets turning north and south. Good job by Devin Thomas. Just make the block. He gets outside. Brandon turns it up the field.
We've talked so much throughout this preseason about his Speed. His mom took part in the Olympic track trials back in 1995, so it's in the genes.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Ryan Terrain in the backfield as Bartell hits Banks, who lost the football and then fell on it at midfield.
There's so many things that you want to get excited about with Brandon Banks, and then there are the other things that he does is just not hold on to the football. I watched him in practice one day drop 4 straight quick posts. Nice plant, tries to make the turn, puts a one hand on the ground, ball comes squirting out. I mean, he just doesn't look comfortable, and those kind of things are going to cost you a job. I don't care how well you return kicks.
Now on 2nd and 3, this is Terrain. And he's bottled up about 2 yards shy of the first down marker by Greenbelt, Maryland native Will Davis.
The Redskins all during this preseason have played most of the 3-4 defensive teams in the National Football League. The Green Bay Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers being other ones. Baltimore runs that type of defense. The Jets run it. Buffalo runs it. And now the Cardinals run a bit of 3-4 as well. And Dallas will.
Terrain on 3rd and 1 picks up the first down, and then a late flag is thrown in the offensive backfield.
Holding, number 58, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Eric Cook.
Eric's.
So this will set the Redskins back 10 yards as we check in downstairs with Doc.
Well, Kenny, the good news is that Robert Henson, as we've mentioned the whole ball game, played his tail off. The bad news is that he won't play anymore, and he's got a sprained right knee. He's disappointed, but I don't think this is as bad as it could be.
Well, you never know about an injury. You just hope it's not bad at all, Doc.
Well,
just maybe the sprain.
Yeah, that's what we hope for. He walked off. He's just so disappointed because he knew he was playing his tail off, Joe.
Oh, I mean, he was head and shoulders the best player on the field tonight. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Bartell fires, and the catch was made by Banks right around the yellow line, which is unofficial. It will depend on the spot.
Now there's a case where he makes a really nice catch on a fastball. Turns, gets his number pointed at the quarterback, makes the catch, tucks it away, and protects the ball. Just has to do it on a more consistent basis. I think of guys like Billy White Shoes Johnson, terrific receiver with the Houston Oilers. You don't have to be real big and tall. You just have to catch the football.
Here's Banks again. His 3rd reception of this drive.
They're giving him a chance to be able to make plays with the ball in his hands.
Gains 11. And another Redskins first down.
Richard Bartell's doing a good job. These are not easy throws. When you have a receiver running sideways away from you, there's very little margin of error to be able to lead him up the field. A lot of guys wind up throwing to the back shoulder and making him lose a step. So far, he's put the ball right where he wants.
Now 1st and 10 from the Cardinals 34. Off the play fake to Terrain. Bartell dumps it off to the fullback, Carey Davis. Davis, the former Colt and Steeler.
Good play fake, gets the ball out of his hands quickly. Too often you see quarterbacks come out. We saw this with Mark Sanchez last week. You come out, you boot, you've got somebody open in the flat like that, and you're focused down the field trying to make a bigger play. Get it out of your hands, let the runners run.
20 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Here's Terrain. And he takes it down to the 21-yard line. The deepest penetration, Joe, by the Redskins tonight has been the 20, so they've not been inside the red zone.
Now we're getting closer.
And we will have to wait until the 4th quarter as time winds down.
Don't go away.
Nope.
Don't go. The excitement's just building.
Keep it right here. Redskins heading for the red zone. They trail the Cardinals by the score of 20-3. It is just after midnight. on the East Coast. Kenny Albert, Joe Theismann, Doc Walker. We begin the fourth quarter, the final quarter of this 2010 preseason.
And you're still looking for some answers at the wide receiver position. Coaches will have a much better look at the offensive line. Overall, Richard Bartell and John Beck have had opportunities to be able to stand in the pocket and throw the ball, though.
Here's Bartell on second down. Pass is caught by Austin. He breaks free and takes it in for a touchdown.
That was just a very well thrown and placed football. Richard Bartell showed you what kind of arm he has. Sets and fires. Terrence Austin, good move inside. Get away from the bad guys. There you go.
So the 7th round pick out of UCLA scores his first touchdown of this preseason. Remember, Richard Bartell threw the game-winning score on the screen pass to Larry Johnson last Friday to defeat the New York Jets. Graham Gano with the extra point. So on the first play of the fourth quarter here in Glendale, Bartell to Austin, cutting the Arizona lead to 10. We're 4 for 4 against Buffalo. 4 touchdowns and 4 red zone possessions. Only 1 for 7 over the last 2 games combined. Gano's kickoff taken out by A.J. Jefferson, rookie out of Fresno State. And it's Westbrook on the tackle at the 33-yard line. 36-yard return by Jefferson.
One of the things we saw when the Redskins had the ball was a good job of blocking by Devin Thomas. They ran those bubble screens to Brandon Banks, and Devin Thomas did a real nice job of taking on the one defender he had to give him a chance to go make plays.
New quarterback, Joe, for the Cardinals. Their 4th quarterback of the night, the rookie out of Fordham, a 5th-round draft pick, John Skelton, first quarterback ever drafted out of Fordham University.
Boy, he is tall. He's a big man.
Hands it off to Charles Scott. Skelton at 6'6", 244 pounds. In the first preseason game for the Cardinals against Houston, he had a perfect passer rating.
I mean, I always look at touchdowns to interceptions when I look at young quarterbacks coming out of college. Do you protect the football? And I like this, 26-10. Can you protect the football? Do you throw it places where people can get their hands on it? And I think the Redskins, Richard Bartell did a real nice job on the last drives. He and John Beck have gone back and forth.
Bartell's 12-14 tonight.
Played well.
Skelton started 41 games during his collegiate career. Derek Anderson started tonight, played just 1 series. Then we saw Matt Leinart, followed by Max Hall. And now it's John Skelton's turn in the 4th quarter.
This is tough for Matt Leinart. Just being put in a situation where you wait for an opportunity. All of a sudden, Kurt decides he's not going to come back. You feel like it's your job. The coach says it's your job. And then all of a sudden, it looks like it's not going to be.
Cardinals brought in Derek Anderson. Here's Skelton on 3rd and 8. And his pass was short, but there is a flag. Jim Dre, rookie tight end out of Stanford, the intended receiver.
Chris Horton was hooked up with him in coverage. A lot of hand-to-hand fighting well past the 5 yards.
Number 32, defense, automatic.
That's on Anderson. Russell, you know, it's interesting when Wisenhunt made the change from Leinart to Anderson last week. He said he wanted to see Leinart's reaction both on the field and off. And you talked about Leinart's lethargic.
I can tell you off the field, it is not impressive.
No, very lethargic during warm-ups today.
He didn't handle it well.
No.
He looks. Body language speaks volumes to everyone, especially at the quarterback position, because all eyes are on you. And you know, Matt's. I understand not being happy. I certainly understand it.
This is Scott on the handoff from Skelton, and Leinart, of course, a former Heisman Trophy winner. Won 2 national titles at USC, 37-2 record as a starter.
And was a starter here, like you said, Kenny, till he broke his collarbone. Now Albert Hainsworth is still in the game in the 4th quarter, and I'm sure people are wondering why. Well, Mike Shanahan needs to find out if he can go 60 minutes of football. And not being in a conditioning situation to have it in early parts of training camp and all through the OTAs, Mike needs to find out. And this is where you see if Albert's going to hustle or not. He's on the nose. He was very vocal about playing nose tackle, didn't want to. And what are you going to get from him?
Skelton on 2nd and 9, and he's taken down by Darian Scott, who started the game. Did not play in the NFL the last 2 seasons. Ainsworth involved in a battle up front with Rex Hadnot.
A little bit of a push. I just don't see anybody. I don't see any kind of dominance there. Candid and honest with you. I just don't see any spark. I don't see any fire. You know, he's probably, I mean, what he's gone, been to the Pro Bowl a couple years. You have got to ask himself, what am I still doing in the football game when the other guy's never even dressed?
In the 4th quarter of preseason game number 4.
Well, you're getting in shape is what you're doing.
On 3rd and 12, that pass nearly picked off by Anderson Russell.
There was one laid out to Anderson Russell. Put this one on a plate for him.
So the Cardinals will punt, leading by 10, just under 12 minutes remaining.
And we should see John Beck, if things continue to go as they have with the quarterbacks for the Redskins alternating series.
And Graham punting from his own 35-yard line. Angles it away from Banks. Bounces inbounds and then out of bounds. So the Redskins pinned deep in their own territory. 45-yard punt by Graham. Here comes John Beck.
Went out, relaxed by the pool for 5 minutes. Felt like I was getting fried, so decided to go inside.
It's a good thing the roof is closed because the Cardinals are wearing their 3rd jersey, their black uniforms tonight, as Beck hands it off to Ryan Terrain. We spoke with Redskins starting quarterback Donovan McNabb, and we asked him about the amount of pressure that he might feel as the new starter for the Redskins.
I love pressure. I love being in a situation where the guys are counting on you to make the play. And what happens now is once they step back to see how you're going to handle it, and you handle it just like any other game or any other time that you're out on the field, now they feel comfortable. Guys feel at ease. Okay, if our leader is kind of just relaxed and just cool and calm, then we can just go out and play.
That's really the way Donovan's played his entire career. When he was in Philly, talking to him, and if he's smiling like he's smiling now, that tells you he's relaxed, he's happy, he's comfortable with what things are going. Now, he got, I think after the knee injury, he got a little bit heavy. He went through a series of a couple years where, you know, a lot of different things were said by different people about him that bothered him, but he never ever publicly let anybody know what was going on. I just really admire the way he handled himself in difficult situations. He also talked about in that interview, besides pressure, he talked about expectations. And I said, do you feel like the expectations of this city are on your shoulders? And he said they should be. He said, I have expectations. I want people to feel like this football team is expected to do well. Unfortunately, Redskin fans felt that way a year ago, but there was disappointment in the way things turned out. So I think the Redskin fans approach it with cautious optimism as we get ready for the opener.
Beck on 2nd and 2, complete. Austin breaks free down the sideline and is finally forced out of bounds. Terrence Austin has scored the Redskins touchdown earlier in this quarter with his 5th catch of the game. And he was finally forced out at the 28 after gaining 37 yards.
Uses his quickness and his ability, but you look at Devin Thomas once again blocking downfield. That's how big runs occur. That's how big plays on short passes occur, getting help from wide receivers down the field.
The battle for these wide receiver positions. Austin, 5 catches coming into the game. He has 5 today. Banks with 4, Thomas with 2 receptions. From the 28, Beck, pump fake, now rolls to his right. Now, one guy we've not talked about a lot during the telecast, but we feature him in our open, is Anthony Armstrong. And how good do you think he feels that he was listed as one of the 29 Redskins who would probably not play tonight, which certainly seems to indicate that he is a lock to make this Redskins squad.
You look at the things that he did, Kenny. His ability to catch the football, his ability to play special teams.
That's Reggie Walker, Joe, the injured Cardinal,
who's down. And you know, someone like a Brandon Banks continues to play to try and make a spot. But Anthony Armstrong did all the things that the coaches needed to see to feel comfortable with him being a part of the Washington Redskins.
Brandon Banks hopes to get some more chances tonight as well. Redskins on the move, trailing by 10 as we check in downstairs with Doc.
Kenny with one of the guys, starters that didn't have to play today but has played well this preseason, Carlos Rogers. The new defense seems like there's a lot more aggressive opportunities for the corners.
It's a lot more aggressive. You know, we play a lot of different coverages. You know, as you know, we get a chance to blitz from the corner position, from the nickel position. Safeties always blitz. It's good to have the run down that block. That box. He get a chance to blitz also.
You like to hit quarterbacks on blitzes, don't you? Please, because Theismann's upstairs, and I wanted him to know how much you just like hitting quarterbacks.
Oh, we love it. Anytime
I do that.
A quarterback, get a hit on him, you know, take advantage of it.
How do you summarize this entire experience with the 34 defense, Coach Shanahan at the helm, and the entire operation?
It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful since day one. You know, just the start of training camp, all-season workout. It's just a whole different change, a whole different vibe around here. You know, everybody embracing this opportunity, you know, just to turn this whole organization around from the season we had last year.
There's one of the guys who, if they're going to be good, it's because Carlos Rogers is good on the edge. Kenny?
All right, Doc, Monty Beisel with the interception. He coughed it up, and it was recovered by his teammate Matt Ware.
There's a case of a wide receiver reading one thing and the quarterback reading the other. Devin Thomas just pulls up. John Beck thought he was going to keep on going. You'll see from the left part of your screen, there goes Devin Thomas across. He pulls up. John Beck thinks he's going to keep on going. Monty Beisel was in a position where Devin felt like he couldn't get outside. He's looking, he sees it. There you just have just a simple case of a quarterback looking in one place and expecting something, and the receiver doing something else.
So the Cardinals take over following the turnover. Second series for John Skelton. Cardinals start from the 37-yard line. This is Charles Scott seeing a lot of playing time today. Just acquired a couple of days ago from the Eagles.
And by the way, Kenny, Doc was talking about Carlos liking the blitz quarterbacks and hit quarterbacks. If tight ends would block those corners, quarterbacks wouldn't get hit near as much, Doc.
Just a rebuttal from Doc.
Oh, my God. Oh, what a cheap shot. Well, tight ends don't have to block corners. Usually, Joe, they're probably more like safeties, but the gleam in these guys' eyes when I say hit the quarterback, they light up.
I know. You ought to see when they get real close.
You would have been too fast for Carlos, Joe. Never would have caught you.
Right.
2nd and 6. It's Scott once again. And while we have a moment, we want to give a big shout out to our director, Ernie Bauer, a staple in the Washington, D.C. area for many years, who is going to be hanging up his cleats, or at least his director's wand, following this telecast.
Yep, we're not going to cut him. We're just going to let him retire.
The Turk will not be visiting Ernie.
No, they weren't. Ernie, thank you so much for all these wonderful years of doing some great jobs with some terrific shows. I've enjoyed working with him many, many years.
One of the best in the business. Midway through this 4th quarter. 3rd down and 3. Cardinals must get to the 47 for a first down. Skelton under pressure, gets rid of it. Incomplete. He was looking for Rea Jones, so the Cardinals cannot capitalize on the interception, as they will send out the punting unit with 7:14 remaining.
And Richard Bartell now gets a chance to make his case for being a part of the Washington Redskin football team.
Now Bartell, unlike Beck, is eligible for the practice squad. In your mind, is there a chance the Redskins keep all 4 with Bartell on the practice squad?
I think it'd be so hard with the decisions that have to be made at corner, wide receiver, offensive line to keep 4 quarterbacks. I just don't think fits into their plans.
No, but I mean Bartell on the practice squad.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you might put other players there.
And oftentimes it changes from week to week.
Quite often, in talking to Mike Shanahan, one of the things that he's concerned himself, not just the 53, but what combination are you going to have with the 45 that you wind up playing?
Okay. The Washington Redskins would like to thank all of our 2010 partners who support the team's season-long military appreciation program, Operation Salute Our Troops.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your support. As we've said before, thank you to our troops. Big ceremony over in Iraq this week. Come home safe to our young men and young women.
We're all second that. Devin Thomas had it bounce away, and then he gathered it in.
That only counts as one catch, not two.
He now has 3 in the game. John Beck is 7 of 12.
You know, Kenny, you start looking at this football team and you say, okay, where are the positions? Who's going to play where? What are the numbers? There's a numbers game when it comes to making decisions on who's going to wind up making your football team. And take a look at it in a minute and get a feel for what Mike Shanahan's going to have to do and what positions he might keep certain people.
This is Ryan Terrain, one of the guys that Mike Shanahan and Bruce Allen and their staffs will have to make a decision about.
3 quarterbacks, you have to feel that that's the way it's going to be. Running backs 3. Now, you have to take into consideration Mike Sellers is possibly a 4th there. Wide receivers 6, maybe 5. Tight ends 3, maybe 2. Offensive linemen 9, maybe 8. I mean, there's variance here. This is just a guesstimation. Defensive line, same thing. Defensive backs, linebackers, and specialists. You really have to look and work on massaging the numbers. Who are going to be your backups? I think that's the big thing. I feel like the Redskins are pretty set on what they want to do with their starting football team. Who are the guys that they're going to keep around that they feel like in case something happens will make a difference? Chris Cooley, certainly. I think he's going to have a terrific year. Derek Dockery settled into the left guard. Stephon Heyer. Trent Williams. Yep. Pretty excited about what he should be able to do. Going to get a real test in game 1 against DeMarcus Ware.
Beck pulls it in and is hit hard at the 27-yard line. Reggie Walker celebrating.
Reggie was the one that was down just a little while ago. Steps, pumps the ball a little bit. John Beck will take some time to learn the position and get it out of his hands a little bit more. And you start running in between those trees, you never know when something's coming at you.
Beck playing at home. We mentioned earlier both Beck and Max Hall, one of the Cardinals quarterbacks, starred at Mount View High School in Mesa, Arizona. They both won state titles. Beck went on to play at BYU, as did Hall. Beck dumping it off. Williams, Keelan Williams, out to the 35. You told me something interesting before the game, Joe, as Clint Oldenburg is down. This is not the first time Mike Shanahan is finishing up the preseason here in Arizona.
No, actually, he's played the Arizona Cardinals, I believe, 6 times. Over the last 6 years, Denver used to finish with Arizona all the time. And now, again, the Redskins will finish with them. And, you know, he likes to play his second-team guys, has to evaluate them, rests his starters, has a very specific plan. He realizes that the Cardinals normally will start at least for 2 series their starters and give you a chance to be able to evaluate better. It just looked like it locked up on him.
Clint Oldenburg started the game tonight. He was battling with Stevie Baggs. Redskins lost Robert Henson earlier in this half, as Doc Walker reported, to a sprained right knee. He had been the Redskins' best player tonight, Henson.
Well, here's the thing that none of these players have gone through in the preseason. About 50 to 60 minutes of football. You think you're in football shape. So many of the starters in the National Football League will play 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 in a game. We saw New England tonight, for example. I saw Tom Brady on the field a lot, and Eli Manning for the Giants. They played a fair amount through the first half of those games. But what happens in the 4th quarter? What kind of shape are you going to be in the 4th quarter? And that's why Mike Shanahan has chosen the practice schedule. He works them 2.5 hours in the morning. In the afternoon, they do a lot of walkthroughs, but there's no shells. You're just really saving the legs of your football team. And it isn't the fact that guys are older or younger. If you're young, you get tired also. And you hate to see this with Clint, just like we said about Robert Henson. It's just dragging that right leg.
So Clint Oldenburg helped off to the Redskins sidelines as we head down to the sideline and Doc.
Make this big fella over here, Casey Rothbach, concerned about one of his teammates. Oldenburg just went down. That's the toughest thing about this, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, the guy's been out there playing all night, and the last 5 minutes of the game to get nicked like that. Hopefully it's nothing serious, and that Clint will be all right.
Explain for us the difference in the running scheme and what you anticipate this run offense will look like.
I love it. I really do. I think the biggest change for us is the amount that the coaching staff puts on the running back itself. He kind of sets up all our blocks, and he reads it one gap at a time like that. And I've never been in an offense, run game offense, where they've made the back such an integral part of the run game.
You've worked with Rex, you've worked with Donovan. Talk to us about the variance in between the two quarterbacks.
I think, Rex, everybody loves Rex. He's a great guy, he is. But, Donovan's got just that something about him. He has done a lot of great things in this league for a long time, and just commands respect from everybody, not only on our sidelines, but, around the league. And sure, I'm glad we have him here.
Are you glad to get this over in about 4 minutes, 21 seconds and put your attention to Dallas?
I'd love to. I can't wait to get a game in that means something, and we're real excited about playing Dallas.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot. Casey Rothbach, the man in the middle.
Hey, Doc, also, it's a game plan they're going to be able to look at and say, okay, this is something that we can sink our teeth into instead of just sitting down watching all the time.
Well, Joe, we camouflaged everything throughout our preseason. I don't know, from what you can tell, has Mike done that a lot?
I think so. I don't think the Redskins have done a whole lot when it came to showing their style of offense or their style of defense. We've gotten smatterings of it, but what they're going to do against the Dallas Cowboys, just like I'm sure the Dallas Cowboys will try and do against the Redskins and everybody around the league, you use this to evaluate the players that you want on your football team. You give them just enough, and every now and then you sprinkle in a play that maybe you want somebody else to see. Maybe you want them to prepare for something, and you have something a little bit different for it. It's a giant chess match. It really is.
Cardinals take over on downs with just over 4 minutes remaining. Skelton handing it off to Scott. Joe, how about this NFC East? In your mind, which team is the favorite?
It's hard. The Dallas Cowboys bring a lot of things back. Flozell Adams was a guy who was a staple at the left tackle position forever for the Dallas Cowboys and just didn't move around a whole lot. I felt like it was a little bit of a liability last year. Des Bryant hasn't played much in preseason because of an ankle. Antrell Roll going to the Giants. The Giants were hurt bad in the secondary. Their question will be at the middle linebacker position. Of course, Donovan McNabb coming here, and the Eagles lose him. The Eagles decided Kevin Cobb was going to be their guy. And you look at the preseason and you say to yourself, has he done the job that they want him to? That's still a question mark. You have to look at that division and say, right now, from players coming back, the Cowboys probably have more than anybody. But I think it's about as wide open a division as there is in the league.
And the Super Bowl, of course, will be played in
Cowboy
Stadium.
The pass is incomplete. Unnecessary roughness, helmet-to-helmet contact on a defenseless receiver, number 32 defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that is one of the points of emphasis. It's Anderson Russell, helmet-to-helmet on a defenseless Mike Jones.
Yep. They're going to call that. He feels
You're saying
like,
it was a shoulder.
Yeah, but your helmet, if it gets anywhere near, the speed that it's moving at, you have to understand that the back judge is going to protect the receiver. Just like if the helmet comes off, the play is going to stop. And I like what the league is doing, making an emphasis to say, look, we're going to protect our guys.
So a new set of downs for the Cardinals. 1st and 10 from the Redskins 20-yard line as Skelton hands it off to Charles Scott. And Scott gains 2. Albert Hainsworth in on the tackle. We want to thank our entire crew who did such a terrific job during this 2010 preseason. Bill Bell, our producer Rich Wolf. We mentioned director Ernie Bauer, John Hoagland, David Duvall, and the entire crew. Russell Brooks, our statistician tonight, spotter John Davis, as Mike Shanahan and the Redskins look ahead to the regular season opener against the Dallas Cowboys.
Finally, should be an unbelievable week, not just a night, but an unbelievable week because it is truly going to be Dallas week in Washington.
All kinds of festivities planned for kickoff week as the Redskins look ahead to their Sunday night battle with the Cowboys. Redskins will play their first 2 games at home against Dallas and Houston. Cardinals open up with 2 on the road in St. Louis and then at Atlanta.
That Atlanta game's going to be a challenge for him. I'm not sure what St. Louis wants to do at the quarterback position. If they decide to go with Sam Bradford, which I think they should, they're going to have to pare back their offense a little bit and let their defense try and carry them through. Of course, the Arizona Cardinals, what are they going to be? Who are they going to be? Are they going to be the team that throws the ball like they did under Kurt Warner because he got it out of his hands so quick? Or are they going to lean more on their 2 outstanding young running backs and say, this is what we want to do. We want to run the football and we'll take our shots. And who's going to be the quarterback? I mean, there's probably more questions in Arizona as a football team on the offensive side than there is anywhere around the league.
You think back to the decade of the 90s, Cardinals lost more games than any other NFL team. They've turned things around under Ken Whisenhunt, back-to-back division titles. Reached the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Beat Green Bay in that 51-45 overtime thriller in the wild card game last year.
You look at I think San Francisco is the team in this division. Mike Singletary's got them playing some really good football. St. Louis, they'll win more than 1. Seattle with the new coach again. Pete Carroll taking over, bringing his philosophy back to the NFL.
Straight because what's called Chris wanted him as well.
Chris who?
Russell, 980.
Yeah, we did.
You mentioned Albert Haynesworth still on the field.
Just over 2 minutes remaining. 3rd down and 7. Skelton out of the shotgun. Cardinals must get to the 10-yard line for a 1st down. Skelton throws to the end zone. It's Justin Tryon with the interception, and he takes it out. Steps out of bounds as he tried to change direction. Now, at the 25-yard line.
It was a terrific interception and a lousy decision to come out. Just don't come out. Use your head. I don't care. It's 60 minutes of football. Cuts under, does a nice job. You're 9 yards deep in the end zone. Kneel down and let it go.
Take over following the interception by Justin Tryon, another one of those guys you talked about in our open.
Right. We basically have hit everybody that I feel like the guys that we highlighted in the beginning of this telecast that had to show something have shown a lot. And unfortunately, we talked about Robert Henson being another guy who really showed up and hurt his knee.
Now Beck fires, and a diving attempt is made by Terrence Austin. Speaking of Austin, let's take a look at the play of the game delivered by FedEx. Play of the game, whether you're trying to get your package around the world or around the corner, FedEx has a variety of options to help your business succeed.
Good job by Terrence Austin. Nice placement of the football, and then go where they're not.
That was early in this 4th quarter. Cut the Arizona lead to 10. Cut down day on Saturday. Teams will cut from 75 down to 53. Pass is intended for Austin, and then on Sunday they can add 8 players to the practice squad.
It's sort of amazing. They go from 75 or from 80 to 75 and then instantly down to 53. It doesn't give a lot of guys an opportunity to be able to go out and do something, which makes a place like the UFL, for example, a good place for a lot of players to go and play for a couple of months and stay in shape, get a lot of football into their belt.
And then when you look at the practice squads, each team will carry 61, so that means 14 players from each 75-man roster will be out of work as far as the NFL is concerned. New starting quarterbacks around the league. We talked about Kevin Cobb and Sam Bradford. How about Jake Delhomme now in Cleveland?
I think Jake Delhomme's going to help the Cleveland Browns tremendously. Jason Campbell, everybody's sort of waiting to see what's going to happen. 2 guys that I think can have the most impact will be Jake Delhomme with the Browns and Derek Anderson with the Cardinals. I think those 2 guys will have the biggest impact. You know what you want to get out of Donovan and Kevin Cobb. Sam Bradford's still going to be a work in progress, like what he did in his 3rd preseason game, but he still has he's still a young guy, and we know the trials and tribulations that we've seen young players go through.
Justin Miller coughed it up. Ramsey Robinson down at the bottom of that pile.
Yep, they got it. The Redskins have it. First thing he does is muff it. Then he doesn't tuck it away. Good job of yanking and pulling. This is what coaches have stressed. Somebody grab them and somebody else start grabbing for the ball. That's one of the things that Danny Smith, the special teams coach, has emphasized, as well as Jim Haslett. Think turnovers. The Redskins had 8 turnovers coming into this preseason game. And you consider they had just 17 a year ago in 16 football games. That's something to build on.
Curtis Gatewood knocked it away from Miller, and then it was recovered by Ramsey Robinson. 51 seconds remaining. Here's Beck, fires over the middle, and the catch is made by Banks. Brandon Banks takes it down to the 20. 17-yard pass play. Down to 35 seconds remaining. As the Redskins line up, 1st and 10 from the Arizona 20-yard line. Beck, sidearm throw, bounces away from Keelan Williams, and there's a penalty flag back at the 7-yard line.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 30, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's Marshae Green, rookie out of Mississippi. So the Redskins, Joe, are inside the red zone.
Oh, it's got to be a mistake. Well, they got there by penalty. Doesn't matter. Now you get to run one or two of those. Actually, run 3 red zone plays if you need them.
19 seconds remaining. Redskins with all 3 timeouts.
You stop and think about the offensive line of the Redskins. This is the first time all through the preseason that anybody has gone the distance. And so a lot of guys will get an opportunity to be evaluated on how they did one-on-one, how they did with blocking schemes.
Beck dumps it off, and it's off the hands of Devin Thomas.
Things get a little tight down in the red zone. The holes to squeeze the ball in are much tighter. You have to be very decisive. You can't be hesitant at all when you try and get the ball out of your hands. Know where you want to go with it. If it's not there, don't think you can go someplace else in a hurry.
Down to 14 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 from the 15. Back to Thomas. And Thomas tackled at the 8-yard line by Justin Miller, who turned the ball over moments ago on the return. And that will do it. The Arizona Cardinals defeat the Redskins by the score of 20-10. Cardinals 3-1 during the preseason. Redskins finish at 2-2 and look ahead to the Dallas Cowboys.
You have to believe that the Redskins saw a lot of things they needed to make their football team and find the 53 that they want. The Arizona Cardinals had to feel the same way. The biggest question for the Cardinals will be, what's their quarterback situation going to be like? Is Matt Leinart going to be an Arizona Cardinal after the weekend? That's probably the biggest question looming.
So the preseason has come to an end for the Redskins. We check in with Doc.
Well, guys, this gives me great pleasure to introduce a Bruin who wins player of the game. Again, Terrence Austin, 5 catches, 94 yards, a touchdown. You knew you had to step up today. How'd it go in your mind?
I think it went pretty good. I'm a little disappointed with that drop I just had. I need to make a big play when a big play needs to be done. But, I mean, all in all, I think I did well. I still have some mistakes out there. So, you know, it's back to the drawing board on that. And, you know, I mean, hopefully I get to still be here so I can make some more of those plays.
How did it feel playing an entire game for the first time since you were in D.C. for the bowl game against Temple?
It was tough. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to get my hind tooth out on the punt team because I got hemmed up. I was a little tired, but there's no excuse. I got to stick to my technique. But, I mean, you know, I'm glad that I got the opportunity to show what I could do. And, you know what I mean? All that time granted that for me.
All right, man, you did your part. Congratulations. All right, Terrence Austin, Bruin player of the game.
Doc.
Joe, live with it.
Doc.
Live with it, Theismann.
I am, Doc.
Okay.
I got you. Congratulations to him. And to you, too.
Hey, man, you know how it feels.
Doc and his fellow Bruin. Terrence Austin with the Redskins' only touchdown of tonight's game. Cardinals win it 20-10. We'll return to Glendale in just a moment.